working on a project. Not sure if it's going to be the entire video or not, but I know it's been a few days. So we've got these soccer guards down here that we built for power soccer. And as it turns out, they need to be modified ever so slightly. We were basing the plans off of some different style of soccer guards, and they were like maybe a 1/4 inch different. So when we try to put those on the chair, they don't quite line up. These things attach to the chair, and there's sort of some brackets that go on the front of the chair, and these bars slide into them. The problem we're having is the previous ones of these we built, the welder we were using, well, let's just say some of the stuff was warped, and these angles were a little bit off. So what we're going to be doing today is adjusting these so that these bars are further out on each side. And it's only about a 1/4 inch that we need. So what I'm going to be doing to fix this is we're going to make these holes right here, basically these things. We're going to ream these out so they are a lot bigger, and then we'll use some spacer washers, like the really thick ones. Well, not really thick, I mean, like, I don't even know if maybe that thick. But we're gonna make the holes bigger, we're gonna put some spacer washers in there, and that will allow us to offset this bar over here on each side, maybe 1/8 of an inch. And that's gonna get us pretty much exactly what we need. So I finally got room to actually get some of my gear out of storage. It's been in there like forever. So, perfect machine for this job is the drill press. And I managed to get this thing pulled out of storage this morning. I've got another Hoyer lift out there, and I was able to use that to get this thing onto this cart. I haven't actually powered up this machine in probably 4 years. I'm gonna have to eventually build a stand to put it on the floor, because as you can see, this thing is not really that tall. But it's a multi-speed machine, it's got a light in here, and seems like a pretty solid setup. But yeah, I think this will definitely get the job done. And then, oh, looks like we had some bees living in here at some point. Hopefully that wasn't very recently. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those guys are long since dead. Our belt here, I mean, it's got a tiny bit of, whoops, I should be careful. Tiny bit of fraying going on. I should probably replace that. I think for the purposes of this job though, it will get this done. We've got it set at the slowest speed right now. I should probably get a variable frequency drive for this thing. I don't necessarily need to get like an expensive variable frequency drive. It's only a 1/2 horse motor. To be honest, one of those like speed controllers from Harbor Freight would okay, Harbor Freight's not the best option. But anyways, so it looks like right now we've got the thing set at 460 RPM. And what we're gonna use to make this super easy are these little stepped drill bits. These things, I just got these on Amazon. Actually, I think Ryan got these on Amazon. Yeah, so these should get the job done. These you have to use cutting oil or some sort of lubrication with them. Each guard has probably, what, 4 holes we'll be drilling? So I don't think it should be too big a deal. The clock is still over there. Okay, so what do I need to do? Oh, that's right. As you can see here, there is no vise on this table currently. I did go to Harbor Freight, I will admit. I got this thing. It was on sale for like $14. I always find myself asking, like, how bad can something from Harbor Freight be? But then I'm always like, pretty much immediately corrected by how crummy their stuff is. But this thing, I mean, it's metal, and all I need it to do is hold stuff. It'd be nice if the jaws were a little bit taller. They are screwed on there. Oh, looks like they already bunged up the Phillips threads for us. That's funny. So on assembly, they went ahead and chowdered up these Phillips heads for us already. That's kind of funny. But all I need to do is attach, or I just need this thing to basically, not even hold, but just get the guard in place and keep it from moving around. So we're gonna go to the hardware store right now and get some bolts to attach this thing. Actually, before we do any of that, I should probably get this thing off of the cart that it's sitting on. All right, we've got some packages to open. This first one is actually something I bought. I did buy it from a viewer. So that light's kind of, whatever. So this should be a 500 gig solid state drive for the MacBook that I do my video editing on. I've been using a 128 gig drive in that thing since I got it because I accidentally fried the 256 gig one. I'm saying gig a lot. But anyways, trying to edit video with 128 gigs of storage, yeah, it's a huge pain. So he sold me a 500 gigabyte one for a very good price. And sent me some air from Minnesota. Also, wait a second, what is this? Oh, that's, I'm betting this is a solid state drive. And, got some packing materials to use for later. We have a note. The hard drive is sandwiched between this cardboard and the RAM is under the loose piece of cardboard. The static bag is not taped shut, so please unroll the bag carefully so the RAM doesn't fall. Hopefully this box is only lightly bounced instead of drop kicked like the last one while it's on its way to you. So yeah, same guy that sold me the BiPAP that I'm temporarily using while my insurance company tries to get their act together. Which, by the way, they still haven't gotten me a machine. I have to have a sleep study for the insurance company to buy the proper one. And, well, they just scheduled it 2 days ago. And the appointment, or the study, is not gonna be until the end of next month. So, yeah. But anyways, so I got the 500 gig solid state drive and then also a whole bunch of RAM for my Mac Pro. This is 32 gigs of ECC DDR2, obviously kind of older stuff, but grounding. This stuff, as you can see, has heat sinks on both sides of it, and the Mac Pro right now, I've only got 10 gigs of RAM in it. I wound up accidentally frying half of the RAM in it, because the Mac Pro has these little trays that the memory slides in and out of. So this should give that thing a performance bump. And then in here should be the thing that will make my productivity making videos so much better. Because I have to, like, when I'm editing videos, I have to like stop and copy stuff off of the hard drive and shuffle things around and delete the render files. And it's just a mess. So yeah, sweet, there it is. The old 500 gigabyte solid state drive. All right, next one is also from a viewer. I have no idea what it is. She said it was a housewarming gift. I think that's what she said. Whoop. Let's, actually, the policy is to never set this down. Put it back in here. Let's see what we got. Oh, this is what I thought it was. This is something I ordered. It's ice machine cleaner. This is from her. Luckily I already put the knife away. Yeah, I never set anything down, like my keys or my phone or anything, because you'll lose it. Oh, sweet. One of my friends was just joking with me the other day about saying, hey, don't viewers send you coffee anymore? So we got some cold brew labs. It's a, man, Amazon really smashed this flat. Yeah, it's, what, 2 pounds? Awesome, thank you. I already did one cold brew, one batch here, but I don't know if there was a note in here. Anyways, thank you, appreciate it. This will immediately go to good use. Yeah, just a note and a receipt so I can return it without you knowing. Okay, dead battery. Okay, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this, just because, well, one, there's no lights in this room, and two, I mean, who cares? We're just putting RAM in this thing. So, basically, the Mac Pro, you take the side cover off, and there are these two little cards here that slide out. And these contain your McRAM modules. We've got this one and this one. And there we go. There's all of our RAM with all of its fancy cooling fins. I just noticed something. We have mixed brands and mixed capacities. I could have sworn I had more RAM in this thing, but I guess it only had 10. That might have been a different machine I was thinking about. But we've got a couple of 1 gig sticks of some random brand. And then there's some 2 gigs over here. And these are all 1 gigs. Now with this system, they all need to match. Or at least be the same brand. So I think this might actually be explaining some of the performance issues I was having. And there it is. 32 gigs of 800 megahertz DDR2. I guess we shall see if this will give us any sort of performance. I guess we'll see if this will. I guess we'll find out if. Well, obviously it's going to help out with video rendering. I mean, the more RAM, the better. But yeah, sweet. It's doing stuff like that that makes my shoulders hurt. I mean, I can do it, like my biceps work well, so like you just figure out how to pull stuff towards you and use the side of your chair as leverage so the legs don't move and you can pull the thing up and use power tools, but yeah, it's still a lot of work no matter how you do it. Here's what we're talking about. This is one of the soccer chairs, and as you can see, we've got some mounts here on each side, and those interface with these guards. So let's get these bolts out of here, and then I'll show you what adjustments we need to make here. The guards essentially thread in to the tops of these brackets, as you can see right there, and then there's bolt holes, and you run a bolt down through once you have it in the proper position. But if you notice here, now that this is in, it might be kind of hard to see, but there's a bigger gap back here than there is over here. It's because this guard, the distance across here is too short, and it's squeezing the two support arms together. So as you push this thing in, it gets tighter and tighter because this guard is a little bit too narrow. So we're going to adjust that by drilling out these bolt holes a little bit bigger. I test drilled these top holes here just to make sure this would work and that we could drill the holes big enough without compromising the structure of this angle iron here. But anyways, a lot of talking. Let's get these bars off of here and get this thing over on the drill press, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. These are the ones that I tested. As you can see, this is bigger than this, and this one here and this one here are two mounting points. So we're just basically gonna make these holes probably twice as big as this one is, and that'll give us enough side-to-side movement to be able to adjust those arms to fit on the chair. This one, I tested it with a hand drill, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of force. Well, not so much force as it's a lot of time to freehand a drill with these. I also need to go get some cutting oil for these, and also some bolts to hold this vise on, because apparently it did not come with the bolts that are needed to attach to the drill press. So yeah, we've got 4 holes per guard, and I've got 4 guards here, so That's a lot of screwing around. But this machine should make short work of that. Got the thing all powered up and working now. And yeah, I think we should be good to go. So I'm gonna run over to the hardware store, grab some bolts, grab some cutting oil, and we'll get started on this. Remember how I said earlier how bad could Harbor Freight actually be? It says on the box it's good for 9/16 bolts. I should have used my eyeballs and realized that that is not a 9/16 slot. But I went and got some 1/2" carriage bolts, which half is smaller than 9/16. They don't fit. They probably would if this weird painted coating they had on here wasn't so thick. Like, it's really close, but I don't have time right now. Well, actually, it looks like the carriage heads on these are okay. Well, I'm probably going to have to use the wire wheel and grind this off, or I might just have to get some 7/16 carriage bolts, which seem kind of puny. I don't know. Anyways, I think for now, we'll just go old school, and I'll just freehand this thing. It's not going to be that big a deal. I mean, we're just drilling some fairly small holes, so whatever. Man, I have to take apart this chuck and grease it. This thing is pretty tight. Well, I guess it has been sitting for quite some time, though. All safety aside, these were the droids I was looking for, and we found them. So, let's go ahead and grab the arms, reinstall them on here, and see if it fits on the chair properly. Okay, we've got the bolts loosely fastened on here, but this was the result I wanted. I wanted this to be able to move around and adjust in both directions. That way, this thing can move one way or the other and fit the chair a little bit better. So we've got these drilled on both sides, so I'm going to fasten them as tight as they'll, or as far as they'll go in opposing directions, and we'll jam this on the chair and see how it looks. It's 12:30 at night, and I feel like I look like one of those people that's gone through some sort of crazy montage in a movie. I'm really tired. I got the chair or the guard put back together, took it back to a friend's place. Soccer practice is also tomorrow, so as soon as the maintenance guy leaves, going straight to soccer practice after that. Then, I think I'll finally have time to sit and catch my breath. Actually, this is a great spot for an ad break. Okay, so if you have YouTube Premium or YouTube Red, or I don't know what they're calling it, they're constantly changing the name, but we're gonna put an ad right here. If you have YouTube Red, you won't see anything, it'll just skip to the next scene. But I'm gonna see if placing an ad right here, well not here, but as soon as I hit the stop button on the camera, there'll be an ad, and we'll see if it actually makes a difference with the ad revenue. So, stay tuned for the following commercial message, or messages. Sometimes they play 1 or 3, I don't know. Anyways, I'll be back in the morning. So, yeah, hang tight. Oh! You almost got me. After lighting, I have to get used to where the lighting is in this place. After I edit videos, I rewatch them just to make sure there's nothing that needs to be changed or whatnot. And I don't have like a proper TV here yet, so my face is really large on the wall behind me. But this is where I was talking about in the video how the automatic door started working at the apartments. When I went to turn in my keys, I gave the garage remote and oh crap. I just realized I left my hand cycle over there in the bike room. Luckily I know the maintenance guy. I'll have to send him a text and see if I can get that back. That thing won't even fit in either one of my vans. Well, anyways, we'll deal with that later. But it's Saturday night, I've got nothing better, well, I was gonna say I've got nothing better to do. I need to go get food actually right now. But since I'm gonna do that, back up again. I went to turn in my remotes for the garage door, my keys, the mailbox, all that stuff. And the manager picked up one of them and was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Oh, that's for the automatic door." He's like, "I never gave you one of those." I was like, all right. He pushes it back across the table, so I still have it. So he said the door was working. I haven't actually tested it, but since I'm gonna go get food, and I feel like going to a place with chicken wings that, well, I have to pass the old apartment to get there. We're gonna go test it real quick. It's 11:40 at night right now. We're gonna make that door open and close. Like, if it will actually work. I'm curious, so let's go test that real quick. And let's get this weirdo off the wall. It's like some sort of futuristic Star Trek thing. You just do this like whoosh, swiping motion and it throws the image up on the wall. Then when you want to take it down, you just go whoosh, and it's gone. Okay. Don't mind me, I'm just a creeper in a van with a camera. Whoa. Can you see that? The door opened. No freaking way. Hang on, we gotta do that again. Oh, man. Well, so much for that. Seems to be a popular Saturday night place to get food. Oh, and this bumper sticker. Ah, people. I still don't understand how this Dodge Caravan has a bigger turning circle than a full-size half-ton Ford van. Like, I can barely fit this thing through this drive-thru, and it's a minivan. Like, seriously, what is this? And now, courtesy of whoever installed this stuff, it's time for some carpet protective film removing ASMR. Man, I don't know what's worse for the carpet, my power chair or this protective film. Slash, who's supposed to pull this garbage up? Is that my job? I mean, I guess I'm doing it. That is just about all I can do to pull that stuff up. Okay. Luckily we're getting rid of this carpet. We're not trying to save it, so. Who is it exactly that's supposed to deal with this stuff? I mean, it is really well attached. Holy cow. But I did realize, oh, let me turn off these brakes. I can move around a lot more quietly now. That plastic's not on top of the carpet. And we get some interesting, little patterns here. Oh man, my arms and biceps are just like, no, what are you doing? This one pulled up really easily, but it was also pretty narrow. The flooring actually looks pretty decent. The linoleum in there, and the hardwood in here. And the plan is we're just gonna cut up this carpet and throw it away. I don't think there's a reason to save it. I mean, it looked like it was really nice, but now that I got in here, it's actually pretty old. I'm gonna get some lunch or something. I'm just pulling this stuff up is hard. Oh yeah, by the way, this door jamb has been removed now.
There it is.
Lucky glove.
So we've got shaky camera work. We've got a decent amount of space. We've got another like 2.5 inches or something. If I was any good at vlogging, I'd go get the tape measure and actually measure this little opening, but not right now. I'm too efficient at the moment to do that. All right, the last thing we're gonna do today is try and get some curtains or something put up in the garage. Right now there's a ton of windows. The door itself has windows, and especially at nighttime when I'm in there with the super bright lighting that it has, it feels like a fishbowl. And I feel like I'm constantly looking around to see who's outside, like looking in or whatever. So I'm gonna go to the thrift store, get some random, like, I don't know if you can use bedspreads or what exactly, or blankets or something, but something that doesn't look too much like a trash bag or cardboard that has been put up in the window, and try to get a little bit of the light, or try to get a little bit more like privacy or whatever. I'm not worried about people looking in or what. Well, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It just feels like I'm at a giant fishbowl and everyone can see what's going on. And also, not that I'm worried about people breaking in, but it's probably better when I get more wheelchairs and equipment and machinery in there to not just have it on display, so people walking down the street can just look in and see what's there and say, oh, I should come back here later. I mean, the cameras I have now have picked up people in the middle of the night coming by and checking mailboxes and stuff, which that's another thing. I need to install a locking mailbox, but I don't know. I just think it's good to be able to pull some curtains over and, you know, not have everything on display, as it were. But anyways, let's go to the thrift store and see what we can find. All right, we're gonna go into this thrift store here, Salvation Army, and see if we can find something that will work to make some curtains out of for the garage. I hear you, Sony. That must be a typo. Okay, I got some draperies. Something from the thrift store. I'm not exactly sure what these are. They're kind of a weird size, and they're sort of sewn really strangely, but I figured the width of them is enough to make curtains for the garage door. Did this weird little pleated thing right here, and then like an opening here. So I don't know. I think the size of them is about right. So we're just gonna cut these up and staple them to the door. Yeah, it looks about perfect to me. Let's measure. I just had a thought. I was thinking about cutting them up and doing each one on each window, but I think I'm just going to put the whole length on and then trim it once at the other end. I went and bought a staple gun. Only place open in the middle of the night that had staple guns for sale, and some industrial scissors, and some little 1/4-inch staples. So I figure this should give us what we need to do here. Then probably tomorrow I'll worry about the windows in the other part of the garage there in that little side workroom. I'll have to move some stuff out of the way, and I'll have to get in the bounder because it has a really tall seat lift. And I should be able to reach everything from that chair. Oh yeah, this will do nicely. Load some staples into this heifer and start stapling. I think I'm just gonna staple them up there and then cut them to height after they're up there. I think that'll be easier. Otherwise I'd have to figure out a way to lay it out flat and trim them, but I don't have like a table or something to do that on at the moment, so I think this should be fine. Let's test this out. Yeah. Did I screw that up somehow? Do not load staples here. What? I can't believe I'm having to read the directions on a staple gun. Oh, you stick them in the bottom. Ah, there we go. That makes more sense. Oh yeah, stapled right into this cardboard box, no problem at all. All right, let's see if I can wear out my arms. Well, it's about 4 inches. 4 inches too short, but I think that should work. I'm gonna go along with the scissors now and trim this bottom half because I don't want it to get caught in the door when it opens. And then maybe you can use a little piece of what's left over for that corner. And boom, just like that, we have curtains. I'll have to see what they look like on the outside. I'm sure the floral pattern will show through. There's like 2 layers. There's 2 layers of material. When I cut these off, there's like this extra strip and then this blue part. So I don't exactly know what these were for, but I've got enough material left over here to make a little thing to cover that corner. Oh, and this is even doubled over too. Interesting. Let's do that real quick. That'll do.